Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Tina from tinahills.com, and this video is not related to astrology per se, but it is a little introduction video that will introduce to you the plot, the themes, and the philosophy of my novel, The Plan. So if you know me, then some of you know that the plan has been I completed writing the plan in about 2014, and since then it has been in circulation with different publishing houses, with different agents, and it has not been accepted. Some publishing houses are ready to publish it if I cut down my word count. So this is quite an extensive, long novel. So I'm not ready to cut down my word count because it is an experiment, this novel, because it deals with my spiritual journey through all the characters. Now the story is told through different perspectives, okay, and time is one of our storytellers. So time takes on a part of the narration, and then we have two sisters, Nina and Xenia, who are two twin sisters, and they have a crazy connection with each other. They're very connected to their Nina is very connected to the spiritual world and the psychic world. Xenia as well, but she is more the Venus and Capricorn, because she is very interested in becoming a big actress in Bollywood. And Nina is a student of psychology. So they're two sisters, they're two identical twins. So, they come from a Bengali family, and they lost their parents when they're very young. So they were brought up by their grandfather, okay, and grandfather, who we know as Dadu. Now Dadu means granddad in Bengali, so they call him Dadu, and Dadu becomes a big part of this universe, okay, of Nina and Xenia. So we begin with a prologue, okay, which is quite long, and I've already published about the prologue and about 2 or 3 chapters on my blog, Tina Heals, so you can check that out, right? So it's Time's Time's stage now, and he starts the narration. So he starts with he or she, so I said he because time is Saturn. So this is a very Saturnian flavor, time, because time is also very detached. So astrology wise, I would say these girls are definitely moon in Pisces, both of them, and probably sun in Leo, okay, and ascendant degree would be maybe the same. They're born a few seconds apart, so I would say ascendant Virgo. And yes, these are my combinations, but yes, there are autobiographical elements in both the characters, but they're very disparate. As two people, they couldn't be more different, although they are identical twins. So the plan deals with a study of psychology, myths, and it brings characters like Babaji into the world of existence. Okay, Babaji, if you don't know who Babaji is, Google Kriya Yogi Babaji. So he acts as a guide to the girls because he is directly connected to their grandfather, because their grandfather was a Kriya Yogi. So The character of Dadu is loosely based on my grandfather, of course, and also on, and in the look of Dadu is like Kriya Yogi Bhupendranath Channal Mahashaya. So you can do a little Google, but all you need to know is almost like Rabindranath Tagore actually. Okay, like that kind of beard and beautiful, a peaceful face and stuff like that. So now I was gonna read to you all these downloads. Actually, I got a short summary. So, and I intend to release the plan week by week, bit by bit on the website. Okay. So the short summary says non-linear and fragmented, because time does not follow a linear pattern all the time as one of the narrators, okay? And it is very multi-layered with all the myths and symbology. Symbolic allegory drawing from myths and legends all over. It conjures up a surreal, phantasmagoric geographies and landscapes, climates and creatures, Rabindranath Tagore and Babaji. So Rabindranath Tagore also appears in the novel as hallucination. Okay, it is a saga of multiple realities and many worlds from three divergent narrative points. I told you that. A poetess lost in a dream world. So Nina, the psychology student, is also a poetess. She writes poetry and haikus and all of that. Okay, a plastic surgeon in the afterlife. So we go into the afterlife and what happens in the afterlife and how souls move from this world to that and how they deal. What are the different realms of the afterlife that the doctor is experiencing. He's a plastic surgeon. And time itself. So Father Saturn or Kronos is one of the narrators. Okay. And the secondary characters, of course, are Xenia. Xenia also has a narration. So all multiple and narrative viewpoints we get to hear. Xenia as a sister. Frank, who's an English documentarian, who is the love interest of the poetess. Okay. And Dadu, which I told you, the grandfather of the twins who brought them up. Okay, and because their parents died at the age of 7, and since then Dadu has brought them up. Okay, so what happens with this is that a corrective rape of a lesbian model leads to a lost court case, a suicide attempt gone horribly wrong, and a gruesome murder. We cut back and forth through time as each protagonist succinctly explains their point of view on the matters at hand. Rape, lesbophobia, rape trauma syndrome, PTSD, body modifications, acting, modeling, and about numerous such 21st century atrocities. So we have all these elements that we deal with. These motifs come to play. Underneath it all, a feminist discourse is plainly visible as we tackle issues like rape and its aftermath, society's apathy, victim shaming by the legal, judiciary, and medical institutions and their aficionados. It throws light on how deplorably women of this country, actually of this world, are treated in this century. Sadly, she is still a liability and a property of her family. There is also an honest discourse on sexual marginalization and its ramifications. So these are the key themes, okay, present in the narrative. There is an atonement, however, for all the characters through the mystical power of Babaji, and other Kriya yogis who appear in the novel. They are shown parallel worlds and alternate possibilities through the power of sacrifice, and a new karmic equation becomes possible. So this is a short synopsis that I wrote for the publishing houses, and it doesn't explain much because it gives you the themes and the motifs at play, the characters, introduces you to the characters, but it's really not much to go with. Okay, so we have a synopsis as well that I would like to share with you, and then we can sometimes get reading parts of it also in other videos, and if I release it on my website, you can have a look at it on my website, of course. So let me find it's a long novel, okay, and we've got synopsis, name, we have a detailed synopsis as well. So we've got a detailed synopsis, and okay, there are infinite worlds out there. Nothing is inanimate in our universe. Oops, sorry, the multiverse. So when I was, I was speaking to a few coaches and other NLP guys, and they were like, you should not introduce your novel because people see you as an astrologer. If you suddenly start releasing your novel, but I don't think so. I think I am who I am, and I do what I do. I can't hide it. And this is a very important part of my spiritual growth, this novel. So it becomes imperative for me to share it because I've been working with this, with astrological archetypes, with the aspects at play. So tons of my astrology study was actually creatively expressed through this novel. So this has a very special part to play for me. So you are there too, in the many worlds that exist. All the possible outcomes of a quantum interaction are realized. All that you see around you, the world, the stars, your family, your lover, the universe. It's not just a universe, but a multiverse. Actually, infinite multiverses floating around in the quantum foam. Think about all the fiction you've read. It's all real, and it's happening right as you read these lines. Gregor Samsa is metamorphosing right now into that giant insect. Kafka, Metamorphosis. Mersault is attending his mother's funeral, after which he will engage in sex and then kill the Arab. Camus. Humans do things without a surprise, and war is its reaction. The underground man is rambling with bitterness. In the underground, Dostoevsky, Notes from the Underground. It's all there and it's happening right now. Everything that you can think of is happening somewhere. All the Netflix shows you watch, happening somewhere. Maybe your life's on Netflix and some other universe, multiverse. Who knows? Amazing stuff, right? Ghosts are memories of things that have never happened. But then what has happened and what has not? What is real and what is not? The physical space that you inhabit, is that real? You can feel it, smell it, touch it. So it must be real, right? But how do you quantify its reality? What makes it real? Remember the spoon in Matrix. Nothing happens here which is unnecessary, the great Eastern metaphysicians say. No jiva ever comes into existence. Jiva is a soul, okay? Paramatman, the absolute soul, Jivatman, the individual soul. There exists no cause that can produce it. The supreme truth is that nothing ever is born. And this is quoting from the Karika chapter of Gaudapada. This stands as a very basic crux to this text. It's all an illusion. So one karmically through Kriya and Kripa of the Mahatmas can change the possibilities, thereby altering realities and the very fabric of reality. So once you do Kriya, which is spiritual practices, and you become the alchemist, then other Mahatmas or other awakened masters can help you. That is the process of ascension, when ascended souls help us evolve. Okay, that's possible. Spirit falls into matter and becomes these physical bodies which experience existence, each in their own peculiar way, gathering more experience for the conscious evolution of mankind, humanity. Let's shun absolutism. I think this is very important and need of the hour. Bad or pure bad or pure good is purely relative and open to interpretation. Everything is so very interrelated. Quantum entanglement, right? Everything is interrelated. How can you affect the motion of a particle far away? If you observe one particle, the other is affected. We are all tied together in the quantum form. Okay? What's a smile without tears? What's a rainbow without stormy skies? If we know not how to cry, how can we laugh? I think this is the key to existence. If we know not suffering, how do we know bliss? How do we know happiness? If we don't know the estrangement of our lover, how do we rejoice in the sweet reunion? So this duality at play. The plan is an allegory told through 3 divergent points of views in book 1. What happens when time tells you a story? Yes, time, the silent ruler of our lives, the witness to it all, the rise and fall of mighty civilizations, kings and power brokers, death and famine, creation and destruction. Okay, so time is this omnipotent being that watches us, Saturn with the sickle. Time cut its throat, ambiguity personified, derelict dreams, dysfunctional dilemma. Small haiku. Nina Ray is our second narrator, the individual who has birthed the plan, not out of pleasure, but through extreme pain and suffering that comes about with losing the one you love most. And Dr. V is our final narrator, and in the most obvious interpretation stands as the antagonist. He's not alive anymore as he speaks to us as a ghost, inhabiting dark astral planes of existence. He tells us how and why situations in society creates a sociopathic monster like him. We even eventually discover the reason he rapes and brutalizes this young, budding starlet who'd come to him for a breast augmentation procedure. In book 2, there are multiple narration points. Xenia takes over. We have their mother, or Ma as they call her, describe her emotions for the first time. We have Dadu tell us his point of view, and of course Time and Dr. V continue on. So we have book 1 and book 2. So monozygotic twins. Nina and Xenia Ray, they shared the same placenta and the same amniotic sac. Can you imagine that? They are not only identical twins, but the closest DNA structure. However, they are like chalk and cheese in all ways. So very dissimilar characters. As a man soweth, so shall he also reap. It's a natural law, unchanging, eternal, and universal. It does not have a beginning, and it never ceases to be. The Bhagavad Gita. What is this reality, this universe, but an endless law of causation? A rape happens, which changes all lives involved, which is the reason the plan is birthed, the plan in capital. So Xenia Ray is a lesbian, and she's trying to get a huge break in an A-grade film in the world of Bollywood. She's already a pretty well-known model for print and video. Also seen on the ramp for prestigious shows like Lakme Fashion Week. She's quite popular in the circuit with a wild and party girl image. Once in a lifetime, do such offers pop up. But Xenia, lean and petite, needs 36D. Okay, cups to effectively gyrate her bosoms, right? So the producer tells her that you have to get a boob job if you want the role. Do you want it? So she is not only considered it, but you don't get a break like this. It's not every day that you get to sign a film like this. Actors wait for this their whole life. So she's like, okay. And you need proper breasts because you have item numbers and you have all these kind of scenes where you need those breasts. So there, public are interested because they see it, and they see it in the ads, and if you don't have it, you don't have it. And she's ready to operate on her body because she wants to get that film. As simple as that, right? So, and so obsessed does she become that she sees humongous breasts wherever she looks. Telly, hoardings, films, they're everywhere, and mocking her tiny size. So she's not happy with what she has. One night she's at a club in South Bombay with her girlfriend and meets a casting director who introduces her to an eminent plastic surgeon, Dr. V. Now Xenia, throwing caution to the winds, calls him for an appointment. Little did she know that DV, a sociopath, had other plans. That night, watching them both, she and her girlfriend on the dance floor, he had made a resolve. Xenia Ray must be shown the correct place of a woman. Yes, he lured her in as a mouse with cheese and then brutalized her and discarded her like a used condom. Nina Ray, a poetess, immersed in a world of haikus and poems, words and rhymes, ideas and concepts, beauty and ang. She's also a graduate student in psychology. And in whatever time she can spare, she volunteers at a shelter for abused children. She carries on numerous programs of literacy, health and hygiene, and does puppeteering in this NGO where she works, and this is school in a bus. Okay, visually it's very appealing. Okay, so I was looking at it like a screenplay. So and when I've already got the screenplay version ready too. Nina, once interested in Rustam Mistri, who's her psychology professor, gives up on that crush after waiting for him to make the move. But when he finally manages to approach her, it's too late. She is already deep in love with Frank Stringer, who's a photographer and documentarian from London. So Frank is here in Bombay to explore, shoot, and discover. He remembers his childhood in Pondicherry, at Auroville, in the ashram where he was born to parents who were disciples of the Mother and followers of Sri Aurobindo, but now cannot link his childhood days in the idyllic Auroville to the sewer-infested, insanely populated city of Mumbai. Crazily noisy, pokey elbows, disgruntled faces, pan parag spit, urine adorning public walls, beggars, transvestites in the traffic signals, garbage vomited by the sea. This city is definitely not something one can prepare for. It's an overload on the senses. However, there is Nina, and he falls in love. There's an element of mystery in her, yet she's so open, caring with shelter kids, a truly free spirit. I think this is what he really likes about her, because she's a very Venus in Sagittarius. And things move pretty fast between them, and in no time they're living together with their little cat, Muffin. Okay, and whom Nina loves more than she loves anything in the universe. Okay, it's a companion animal. So now Xenia is seeing Melissa, who is a model as well. But unlike the crazy party girl she is, Mel has a good head over her shoulders. So she's a very sensible girl. They're very much in love and share their apartment in Yari Road in Mumbai together. And they have a crippled dog that Xenia has rescued as a pup from the garbage dumps of Andheri. And Bhola is his name, and they love him to bits and pieces. So these are the main characters of the plan, and I will read to you from it. I hope that interests you enough. So please write to me if you want me to start publishing it, or if you will read it, and we can have a discussion. Thank you so much. Bye.